Hey everyone, Correct Genes here, and if this padlock looks familiar, that's because it is yet another dumb big ol' padlock. Except this time it is an RS8 core. Now the RS8 is an 8-pin, as the name suggests, pin tumbler lock. It is interesting in that it's got 5 top pins, like you would expect. However, it also has these 3 pins on the side. And the way that they accommodate that is they have this little interesting jutting outward of the keyway. So where this right side of the keyway is kind of like a dimple lock, and then you have your normal pins on the top. And interestingly, the pins themselves on the right side of the keyway are of the style that DOM uses for its dimple locks, like the IX10, IX Twin Star, that sort of thing, in the sense that they have that element which curves with the curvature of the plug, because they're offset to the side, which prevents it from causing a problem were they not curved that way, because they're offset to the side. Pins that are down the middle don't really need to be curved like that, and the pins that are down the middle are not curved like that in this case. So before I start, one last thing I'll mention is if you are looking to pick this lock, one thing to keep in mind is that this little piece of wording down here, well, this section at the bottom is great for a bottom tensioner. This piece of wording is a little bit fragile, and you might notice while I mentioned the key, I have a lot of trouble getting the key in the lock, and that's because it's very easy to accidentally bend that piece of wording out of place. It's not particularly difficult to fix. You end up with a tiny bit of cosmetic damage. You can see maybe a little scratch on there, but other than that, it works perfectly again. So it's not a huge deal. It's just something to keep in mind if you're planning on picking this lock. Be a little bit careful with that wording down there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this clamped up, taken out of the padlock, and get it picked. Alright, here we go. Starting with bottom tension, we're going to go ahead and get at the side pins first. Click at a 3. Another little click at a 3. 2 is loose. Click at a 1. Another click on 3. Click at a 2. Another click on 3 and 2. Felt a little rotation, which I believe is the side pins being picked. And the top pins are actually not fundamentally that hard. However, there is one pin in this lock. Pin 4. Pin 4, just dropped my pick on the floor. Hey, that rhymes. Pin 4 makes this lock a living hell. Pin 4 is one of those T-spools, and it basically picks like it's in countermilling, even though it's not. It locks in place, and you cannot move it. Even at the beginning, I have to use this low profile pick to even get it off the ground, because otherwise I can't get any picks inside the lock. And then you have to set it early, otherwise you're not going to get it set, period. So we'll see if we can avoid the wrath of pin 4. Other than that, it's just a normal lock with a weird keyway. Tightening up tension a little bit. Got a nice click at a 5. Alright, click at a 2. I'm going to go ahead and move on to 4. The deep hook, because he's set way up there. I got to click out a 3. I got to be careful that I don't accidentally fall into a false set. Now let's just shove this guy in the back. Okay, there's pin 5. was a click on 5 actually. This is a very awkward keyway. I apologize for the stumbling around. A little counter rotation. Okay, click out of 4. I think that's like the first counter rotation I've ever felt from that goddamn pin. All right, another click out of 4. Feeling good about his position now. I'll probably still have to pick the T element later, but that should be the hard part. Okay, 5 feels set. Trying to find a binder. I'm going to go ahead and switch to heavy tension. Oh, that's 4. What the hell is going on? Okay, nice meaty click out of 4 there. That's the kind of click I like. Alright, that was a click on 2. 3 feels set. Five feels set. Alright, let's get that deep hook back out again. Go ahead and see what is up with pin 4 again. Alrighty, cool. Let's click out of pin 4 and gave up the ghost. Let's go ahead and get him gutted. So, yeah, all in all, I mean, it's an 8-pin lock. It's got difficult DOM pins in it. The side pins honestly don't really do a whole lot, but the tolerances and security pins that are in the top just make it a bit more of a challenge than usual, in my opinion. That, and you occasionally get, you know, pin 4. We all have pin 4 in our lives, don't we? I know I do. I'm not referring to anyone in particular, so don't be offended if you're watching anyone that I know. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get this clip off. I should have kept the vise out for it, but you know what? I know you guys like to watch me struggle. There we go, nothing to it. Okay. Doop-a-doop-a-doop, boop-boop-a-doop, boop-a-doop, boop-boop-boop. Alright, got a bunch of padlock parts on here. Alrighty. Let's make it happen. Get this shit out of the way. Key. Lock. Learn how to use a key. I'm going to mute that. I accidentally just said my name. That was weirdly difficult. Huh. Hope I didn't bend the wording or anything. I think it's fine. I will assess later. we go. And the lock is free. Go ahead and get this key out. So, like I said, it's 5 top pins, 3 side pins. The side pins are interesting because the nature of it being a standard pin tumbler type lock means that they have to be very long. And because they're long, it means they're hard to get out. Come on. I say as I have trouble getting a normal pin out. What was that? 3 and 2. There we go. There is no countermilling in this lock. I don't know why I get no feedback out of pin 4. Okay, let's see. This is this side down. So like other DOM locks, these, let's zoom in a little. These have that whole deal going on where the pins match the curvature of the lock. Let's zoom back out a bit while I get the drivers out. You can see the most of the low cut pins have these torpedoes. These are torpedo pins. Fun little buggers they are. Okay. Let's just make room for everything. And let's get those drivers. Alright, so we have a spool in one, spool with the little angled edges. Side pin 1 is this little, this little bottom spool type thing. These showed up a lot in the Twin Star and a lot of other DOM locks in their dimple locks, whereas these other pins tend to show up more in their regular pin tumblers. So it's interesting you have sort of that mix of their normal pin tumbler locks and their dimple locks. Because the pins on the top don't have that curvature thing going on like the pins on the side do. Alright, we have another one of those little spool elements on the bottom. I don't even know if I could call that a spool. It's kind of more like a mushroom pin. Alright, here is my enemy. So this is pin 4. This is one of their sort of spooled T-pins. You can see it's a spool, and it's got a T-pin on the end, and the T-pin also has a little spool element. And this guy is super duper sharp. You get no feedback out of that thing. Except sometimes, apparently. Alright, pin 3 on the bottom. Same thing. And then last but not least, we have another one of their barrel pins in chamber 5 here. Sorry for the noise. All right. Cool. Let me give you a good view of this. Oh yeah, look at those. All right, well, this has been, well, that lighting sucks. Here. How's that? Is that better? That's actually worse. Anyway, this has been the DOM RS8. It's a sort of standard pin tumbler lock with a little bit of extra something to it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a good one.